to Third Phase of Moon. My name is Blake Cousins and we're Skyping right now in regards to these incredible photographs taken by SOHO. And we're going to be speaking with Robert Eivind in regards to his theories on what he thinks these anomalous objects are. To me, they seem quite big, and I want to welcome Robert right here in the show, Third Phase of Moon. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me on.
Okay, well, let's get right to it. Can you give us a quick theory what you think this photo, number 2, that we're looking at right now in regards to the third photo of the Anunnaki, ancient carvings on the wall here?
Okay, we're looking at the red one where it's coming out, coming out of a big T.
Yes.
It's a large Anunnaki starship. It's either coming out of subspace or warp or whatever term you want to use. You can see the huge T, the warp gate it came out of. These ships have been coming to our system since at least 1996. Have no idea how big they are, but just looking at that SOHO image, that has to be pretty good size.
All right, Robert, in comparison to this ancient carving on the wall, what do you think? You say that it's possibly that kind of a airship that these ancient civilizations portray in these art formations on the walls?
Well, yes. The ancient Sumerians, they carved them in several different locations, up on walls, on different things, on small cylinder seals. What you see their god, their Anunnaki god, or the winged god, or Zarathustra, I forget what his name is. And he's harnessed. He has a really nice harness across his belt, across his chest, back to the wings. Wings are kind of really nice, huge, but they have landing gear. They have metal rods going down instead of bird's legs, and they have round knobs making them wheels. So it's a large winged craft that the Sumerians had no way other than a bird to explain.
Well, now we're looking at photograph 4 and 5. Number 4 and the 5th one is basically a more contrasted picture of number 4. What are we looking at in this SOHO photograph?
In photo number 4, what you're looking at is you're seeing one of these Anunnaki starships coming out of its warp gate into our system. The sun is right down behind it. It's blocked off by a large disk so it doesn't damage the cameras. And off to the left, you can see this ship that is just shot out of this warp gate, just like Star Trek, the Enterprise, coming out of warp in the TV series.
Fascinating. Now we're looking at this color blue photograph, and maybe you could explain to our viewers and listeners about why this photograph is blue, and what does this photo represent in your mind?
Which image are we talking about?
Yes, number 7 and 8.
Okay, image number 7. The SOHO cameras, they have about, I think, either 4 or 6 cameras showing different colors and different angles. Image number 7 here has 1 and a second. There's actually 3 starships in this one image. The one down to the left is one that has just recently come out of warp. You can still see a trailing drive plasma behind of it. The ones to the right, down below the sun disk, those are just coming out of warp right at that second. You have a lead ship and then one to its right. It's before 2011, they would not do this on this side of the sun. They would come around the sun. But for some reason, starting in about 2011 onwards, they just started coming out basically right in front of the cameras.
Wow, so how close do you think these ships are in relative to the sun? Wouldn't you imagine that how extremely hot the sun is that this ship would basically vaporize in space? What's your theory behind that?
Depends upon their technology. If they have the technology to do warp drive or faster than light speeds, then they must have some kind of a shielding around, just like the Enterprise does when it comes out of warp. As to how close they are to the sun, I really cannot answer you.
Okay, well, let's move along to image 9 and 10. Well, let's get to number 9. What is this SOHO image, and what's it about here? It's absolutely a spectacular photograph.
This one image here is also showing 2 starships coming out of warp. The long beam-like type things down from the one starship and up from the other one, they're being attacked by something. That's an energy beam that is not from that warp gate. And you can see other beams up just to the left of where they are coming out in the full picture.
Well, as we look through photographs 10, 11, and 12, we're going to be showing them now. Do you think that SOHO was designed to capture intergalactic battle or war going on right now? Or do you think this was some kind of indiscriminate, by mistake capture that these SOHO images are getting? And what is their explanation of what these are?
I don't know what their explanation is. A friend of mine, Dr. Ken Johnston, he knows the guy who actually did the building for the SOHO satellites. He said that these are not fakes. And these are either deliberately set this way so they would be able to record them, or these are accidentally recording them. It's hard to say.
More evidence of what looks to me like more lasers or kind of like an attack going on. Some kind of sophisticated military maneuver in an alien sense.
And if anyone takes the time to actually look at the images online for SOHO, you can actually see these little zits and like phaser beams, to use a more common name. And they are fighting someone. Hopefully it's not us.
Well, it's the perfect example of what George Lucas was talking about, and what we might be looking at right now is a real Star Wars event being captured by SOHO, and it's amazing that you saw these photos, and I know a lot of people around the world have been picking up on these and sharing them on the internet and YouTube, and it's an absolutely fascinating subject matter. Now let's go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, on image number 13, it's a blue image. You can actually see one of the ships using its main weapons hitting an orb. So that orb might be a cloaked vessel. Who knows? But yeah, these are all on the SOHO images. It shows a great deal of power these things have.
Certainly. Now on to pictures 15 and 16. More, Star Wars action going on, straight out of a science fiction movie. Tell me, what do you think's going on here? It looks to me like a ship's actually either taking on fire or launching something. What do you say?
Well, in image 15, it is actually hitting another huge orb. If you look right at the end of the phaser beam, it's hitting a round object. It's just barely there, but you can see it. So these ships are attacking somebody else, something else.
Well, the Empire in Star Wars, I'm going to keep referring to it just because, what else are we going to compare it to? Numbers 17 and 18 look like, an Imperial massive ship that Darth Vader used to, command.
Yes. Well, number 16 shows what I call the Death Star, or the Super Star Destroyer. It's just massive. And if you look back towards the end, right in the middle, you can see the huge blue engine. And then number 17 shows a closer image of one of the Anunnaki starships. These things, they have a habit. When they come out of warp, they're rapidly decelerating, and they're trailing drive plasma behind of them. And you can see it in the image. As they slow down, the drive plasma dissipates, and all you see is the ship coming towards you. Now, number 18 shows at a different angle where it's actually coming up and a little bit from the left to the right, and you can clearly see the drive plasma behind it. These things are just something else.
Out of this world, most definitely. And now this angelic photograph, number 19, that we're looking at. Absolutely
Yes.
Stunning, beautiful. Again, what is it? We don't know, but it's there, and it's absolutely incredible and huge beyond our imagination. Again,
Yes, and that one's departing from our system. NASA records these things every day, coming in and departing out or doing something. So they're here.
You know, Robert, I really want to thank you for sharing these incredible photos that you've picked out exclusively right here for Third Phase of Moon of what your opinion is of actual evidence of Star Wars going on right now, being captured by SOHO imagery.
And aliens coming into our system, whether they come to the Earth or to any other planet, they're here. They came here for a reason. And they've been coming here since the late 1990s. SOHO cameras, I can't think of the name of it right now, but it shows our sun with the green kind of a background. And on the right-hand side of our sun, you see an alien space probe that is really close to our sun.
Yeah, these images are popping up all over the place. You have an eye for it. You're collecting the database. You're sharing it right here at Third Phase of Moon. Let's go to the second picture right now. This, to me, I'm not exactly sure what we're looking at. More probes, Robert?
That looks to be some kind of either it's very large. It's far larger than the probe itself.
So it's definitely some kind of anomaly. What's going on here? I see the dark probe. It's definitely there. Something's there. It's not, a scratch in the lens or dust on the lens. This is in deep space here.
Yes, it is. Very close to our sun. If you look at the probe itself very closely, you'll see that it is shielded. It has shields around it, just like in Star Trek for the Enterprise. So it is protected from our sun's output. But these little buggers, and they're quite large to be honest with you, they are controlling our sun. They have been controlling our sun for several years now.
Wow, the images still continuously come in from Robert Evans. We're going to go to the next photo. What looks to me like the phenomenon known as skyfish or flying rods. And we see them on Earth all the time being captured on video. But this is, again, in deep space. This is absolutely a huge anomaly going on. It looks like it has wings.
Yes.
What are we looking at here, Robert?
It's hard to say. My opinion being that these things have also been seen out near Saturn and also Jupiter. Okay, I would say it's probably a space station of some sort that shows up and controls those space probes. Because I have sent those images out to other people, and they have gotten back to me saying, we are seeing these around other planets. And it looks to be almost the same exact object.
You know, Robert, I'd have to say, in my opinion, it might be a life form of some sort of interdimensional being coming in and out, or in and out of the dimensions. Not exactly sure, but it's there again, being captured by SOHO. And, the NASA team is not really coming forward and explaining to us what exactly these anomalies are, but we at Third Phase of Moon are going to go over them right now, and we're going to go to the next picture of what looks to be more drones. Robert, you circled this in. We got...
Yes.
Let's go to this, and I'm getting hacked right now.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
One sec. And
Something's happening.
something's happening. Okay, so this drone, you're circling it right now. Go ahead, Robert. Again, what more drones?
Yes, those are more of the space probes. I've been able to capture a couple of images that show them all around our sun. So that is just in one location. One or more of the images you have show them in various locations around our sun.
Now to the next photo, and again, this is some incredible visuals coming in, and this is like an array, a collage of photographs that you put together. Tell us what we're looking at here, Robert.
Actually, what you're looking at right there is one image, and each one of those smaller images, the enlarged ones, are just plucked out, and they're showing you where they are around the sun at that time. You see the different probes. You can see that they have shields around them, and you also see one of those long, maybe a space life form, maybe a space station. It's hard to say what that thing is.
We're not claiming we know what's going on here. We're just putting it out there.
Neither am I.
Yep, exactly, Robert. We're just stating our opinions. There's something strange going on with these photographs. Now we're on to this next one. It's a bit blurry. The images are a bit soft coming in from SOHO. Can you explain why these images are a bit blurry?
They are a bit blurry because our camera is picking up the shielding that is actually around the entire probe. That's why it looks a little bit weird. I'm going to be sending you some more images of a large spaceship that was sitting next to our sun, and we fully analyzed it, and it has the same appearance.
You know, the plasma shields, the technology is getting amazing right here on planet Earth, and if these aliens have been around and they're a million years in advance of us, they've got this stuff figured out, and they're way ahead of our thing. Again, more of these anomalies in this next picture, this skyfish, rod, space station, life form. You got a really good eye, Robert, catching these things.
And NASA has never responded to us as to what these objects are. We have asked many times, sending emails to them.
NASA continuously has live updates. I try and get in on the chat line and ask what the protocol is for releasing to the public if they were to find life in the universe. And I think they've already found it, and they're not responding to me, they're not responding to you. Will they ever respond? Who knows? But we're going to go on to this next picture right now. Again, more of these large plasmic probes,
space probes with their shields that are being shown by the cameras. Like anything else technology wise, they have to have some kind of a shield around them to be that close to our sun. Because, like, say the Enterprise in Star Trek, they had to have really heavy shields around their ship. Otherwise, they would be destroyed. Same thing with these probes.
Absolutely. Nothing in this universe, the elements wouldn't survive this kind of heat. It would just basically evaporate into space, be fried and disintegrated. But there looks to be some kind of protective shield around these drones, no doubt about it. And now, to me, this doesn't look like this to me looks like a craft. Again, absolutely incredible. You have it circled here. And what is your opinion on this? More drones or a different kind of starcraft?
Now that one there has a different look to it. You see what looks to be a huge round sphere at the very top, and then some kind of a shaft going away from it with two similar smaller spheres behind it. That one I don't know. That one looks different from the other probes in the images you have.
When I look at it, it brings back the memory of Stanley Kubrick's 2001 Space Odyssey kind of craft. And what's going on? Again, leave it to your imagination. This is proof right here, photos captured by NASA. Now to the next photograph. Incredible montage of more of these probes, the plasma around it, U-shaped UFOs captured March 28, 2013. Look at this.
And the person, I receive a lot of photographs from other people who do monitor these various cameras. And that was one of theirs where they tried to include as many of the small images in there as they could. And that's one of the few that I actually have a date. I'm going to try and pull the original from the SOHO records to match those up for you.
you do that, Robert. Now, you stated right here in the next photograph, we are not alone. Well, we're definitely not alone when we're seeing images like this. Massive ships. People have their own opinions on third phase. They come up with these funny statements that they know what they're talking about. Like I said, we don't know what we're talking about, but we know that there's something on this image, and that's a fact.
Well, the image to the left shows the entire sun. So that small probe that's right there in the center is off to the left of that sun image, and that was one of the ones that was picked up. And up at the very top to the right of that sun image, you see one of those long, elongated things again. So it does kind of make you wonder, what is it? Or is it controlling the probes? You know, these are definitely not human.
Let me ask you, Robert, in your opinion, what are the size of these craft?
I honestly cannot tell you. I do not know. I tried to check back on with a friend of the person who actually built the SOHO satellites. There are two of them, and unfortunately he passed away years ago, so I cannot get his opinion as to what he is seeing, because he wrote the programs and built the probes.
Well,
I have no way of knowing how far these things are away from the camera or from the sun, but you have to take your own imagination that if they're large enough, that close to the sun, they have to be huge.
Absolutely. I think if even planet Earth was in perspective to the sun like this, it would almost be about this size. Now, we're going to another image.
Just about.
Yeah, the orange sun to the right, and more of these plasma anomalies coming in.
In the images I have seen, unfortunately, they only show one angle. So we cannot see if they are all around the sun. But the opinion has to be that if they're on that side of the sun being seen, they're all around the sun.
We have two more photos that we're going to go over right here from SOHO. On to the next one. More incredible images, 4 different photos, and they're just solid. They're solid. These aren't like blurs or pixel anomalies in the lens. This thing is there. The one on the top left almost looks like a Klingon ship, and then
yes.
And then
unfortunately, that's the camera seeing the shielding that's around the probe at that angle. At the other 3, you can't see the shielding as well as you have seen in the other images.
Wow, these 4 images are stunning. And now to the last photo that Robert Evans sent us. Again, a crazy looking skyfish. The size, we have no idea, but it does look massive. Robert, thanks again for joining us right here at Third Phase of Moon and sharing these incredible images. Any last word on this last one here?
No, it's that same elongated piece, and you will be receiving more images within the next couple of hours, couple of days, because I've been recording and saving these things since at least 2009, and I have quite a bit.
Robert, you keep up the good work. You share the information with Third Phase of Moon, and we'll get it out to the world. Appreciate you joining us, and again for your hard work, Robert.
And thank you for showing them to the other people out there.
All right, if anybody's out there has captured anything amazing in regards to UFOs, contact Third Phase of Moon via Skype or Facebook. My name is Blake Cousins, and we'll see you again next time.
Phase of Moon. Third Phase of Moon.